Rev up your engines!
Well, if you think the price of new cars is getting ridiculous, the average new car price in May of 2021 was $41,263. That's a $2,125 jump from 2020. People are trying to pretend, all these fake economists, oh, we don't live in an inflationary economy. Ha! We certainly do. That's proof of it. Watch my videos. Learn how to fix your own car. Take care of your car. Fix up your old car. Don't buy one unless you have to. They're getting more and more and more expensive. And of course, that's the average car, $41,263. The average Stellantis car was $48,000. The average GM car was $48,544. But the average Honda was only $32,564. So it's not absolutely everyone that's gone that high, but the average one has gotten to be that high nowadays. But hilariously enough, the high performance cars, their prices went down 13.2% to $95,797. I guess, as they say, the rich get richer. They're not going to buy the cars if they charge too much money, so they had to lower their prices. They went down 13.2%. So, you know, like they say, the rich gets richer and everybody else gets poorer. Well, it kind of fits with cars, too. They're expensive cars are getting cheaper because I guess they're, oh, I'm not going to pay that. What are they going to do if they don't sell them? They got to lower the price, right? I find that fascinating. So, for the average person, the price of cars going up. For the rich people, their expensive cars are coming down. I guess it pays to be rich, right? Well, here's a message from the future. Mazda now says that they're going to electrify their Mazda Miata by 2030. Okay, people, that's 9 years from now. Who knows what's going to happen 9 years from now? Hey, I might not be here. Who knows? But they say they're going to electrify it, and they're going to keep its lightweight DNA. It's going to remain a lightweight car. Maybe that's why they're waiting until 2030. They're waiting until batteries get a lot lighter so they can keep it a light car. Because a regular car that wants to go fast and have power, those batteries, the lithium-ion batteries, they weigh a ton. That's why I said when I road tested Tesla Model Y when I was in Rhode Island, what a dog riding. That thing rode like crap because it had that big, heavy, 1,000-something pound battery slung low. You hit the bumps, you felt every bump. Now, it was insanely fast, yes. But to get that fast, they had a big, heavy battery, and it made it ride like crap on bumps. I guess Mazda's smart. They're going to wait until 2030 before they electrify the Mazda Miata. And of course, that's 9 years from now. A lot can happen between now and 9 years from now. You know, who knows what kind of things come out. And they say they're going to electrify. Who knows? By then, maybe it'll be a hydrogen electric fuel cell or ammonia electric fuel cell, since ammonia is NH3, so it's got a lot of hydrogen. If they figure out how to make a good ammonia fuel cell car, hey, ammonia is a lot easier to transport in liquid form than hydrogen is in condensed gas, high pressure. It's a lot safer too. So who knows where the chips will fall there and the infrastructure and all that stuff. So I guess Mazda's using an analysis of the system and saying, yeah, we'll electrify by 2030, 9 years from now. Who knows what the technology will be? Corvair 66 says, Scotty, I'm interested in buying a 2015 Toyota Tacoma with 65,000 miles, 4-cylinder engine, automatic. Do you think it's safe to change out the automatic transmission fluid? Oh, sure, on a Toyota, you only got 65,000 miles. I tell people, you know, you can change them every 60,000 miles or so. Definitely change it. Just drain it, put the Toyota transmission fluid in. It doesn't cost much more. You don't have to buy it at the dealer either. You can get Toyota transmission fluid all over the place. 60,000, 65, doesn't matter. Change it and then change it every 60,000 miles. It's not going to do it any damage. The Toyota transmissions, they don't shed clutch materials inside from the automatic clutches. It's perfectly good. I've seen them at 165. They were never touched. I changed them and they had no problems. It's completely different than say, if it was a Chrysler or a GM or something that you got to do it religiously. And if you don't, you leave it alone because you could have problems. Toyotas aren't that way. The fixer-upper says, got 2012 Toyota Corolla. I need a new compressor. Should the accumulator replace it as well? Now, they don't call them accumulators on Toyotas. They're called the AC dryer filter. It dries it as a desiccant bag to get rid of moisture, and there's a filter to filter any big pieces out. Yes, anytime you change an AC compressor, you want to change the dryer because the desiccant might be worn out, and then when you put a new compressor on, if any moisture's in there, it'll cause problems. Plus, it's a filter. It filters stuff out. The filter could be almost clogged up with crap. That might be why the compressor went out, right? If you don't change that filter, it'd be like changing your engine oil, not changing the engine oil filter. Change that too. You want to change both. You always want to change the compressor and the dryer at a minimum. Now, the real pros say you should change your expansion valve too, but you got to take your dash apart. And if the compressor's bad, but the system itself wasn't building up pressure because the valve was getting stuck, generally the valves can last forever on Toyotas. Senator 77 says, how reliable are Volkswagen 2-liter turbo diesel injection engines? I'm thinking about getting a diesel VW. I don't know about the reputation of the newer 2-liter. Are they reliable? Volkswagen makes excellent diesel engines. It's all the plastic and computers that are on the Volkswagens that are the problem as they age, as the door handles break off. The plastic parts on the engines, on the transmissions break. The electronics have failure as they get old because they're so complex and they're so expensive, and the parts cost so much money here in the United States. Other parts of the world, not so much, but here in the United States, they are. They can last quite some time with the diesel engines. I've had friends in Canada with them where they're more popular, have 300,000 miles on them, and they're still running perfectly fine. It's the diesel engine. They had that diesel gate where they cheated on stuff, but that was just a software problem. The engines themselves had no problems. They would actually last longer, but they broke the law by making them pollute more and then cheat and go into a non-polluting when they were being inspected. And then when they were just driving down the road, they went back to they polluted more, but they ran better. It isn't the running that had problem. It's all the other stuff that's added on to them that are a problem with Volkswagens, which is why I would never buy a modern Volkswagen, because they have too many complex electronic plastic pieces of crap on the cars that break, cost a fortune to fix. That's why you can get a used Volkswagen so cheap these days, because they are hellaciously expensive to repair. A lot of guys won't even work on them because Volkswagen has their own prerogative software that's different than everybody else. So you need a Volkswagen scan tool that costs a lot of money. Then you got to reprogram the parts when you put them on. They're kind of deceitful when it comes to that. You think you could just put a part on your car and drive. No, you got to reprogram it with a Volkswagen. So stay away from them if you're wise. 21's Wad says, my automatic transmission shifts hard. My transmission shifts normally, but when it's cold, it shifts kind of hard. I replaced the fluid and filter, changed the spark plugs, and after the light went away, it came back after I filled it up with gas. I was able to erase it and waiting for it to come back. Any advice? The code is P2757 on a 2012 Corolla with an automatic transmission. I would live with it if I were you, especially if it's high mileage. It's a 10-year-old car. Do it when they're cold, but not when they're warm. They're just warm. If you want to try, sometimes this helps. Drain 1 quart of fluid out. You already changed it, but drain 1 quart out. Put in 1 quart of the lightweight Lucas automatic transmission shift fix. It's a bottle. Put it in, see if it helps. If it doesn't, just live with it. It's wearing, but as long as it's warmed up and it goes right, it'll probably go that way for years and years and years. Well, here's an interesting one. Mark B1214 says he's thinking about putting a 1.8 liter Honda port injected 150 horsepower engine in a plane he's building. I expect the engine takeoff RPM to be 5,400 RPM, no more than 5 minutes, and cruise 46 to 4,800 RPM. That's 1,000 less than Redline. Other people say, hey, this thing was designed to run at 2,500 RPMs, not that high. What do you think? Well, it was engineered for a car engine, right? They don't rev that high all the time, but it's Honda. They make excellent engines. Realize, of course, in the aviation industry, everything is ultra conservative. After so many hours of flying, you would require to have the engine probably torn down, rebuilt. It's not like cars, so it would probably be totally safe. It's not like you're going to get in that thing and fly around 1,000,000 miles like driving a car 1,000,000 miles. You do not go as far in an engine in a plane as you do in a car. As long as you meet the FAA standards and you find out that you got to have the engine rebuilt so many miles or so many hours of operating time, it should be perfectly fine. They're well-made engines. They can take it. I mean, back in the day, I remember guys that were putting Volkswagen engines, the old Beetle 4s, in planes. They're not going to go forever, but as long as they follow the so many hours operating, got to have the engine rebuilt, go ahead and do it. He says, this isn't a normal car question, but does anybody know where I can find the diagnostic dice game? Everywhere I look, it's out of stock. I don't know about any games because I don't have time to play games. I'm too busy fixing cars, making videos. My challenge in life is to make the best videos for all you guys out there and to fix people's cars that come here, figuring out what's wrong. That's my diagnostic game, is diagnosing cars that come here and actually fixing them in the real world. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. If I want to go target shooting, I want to have a real gun, do real target shooting at real targets. I like skeet shooting where you're blowing up those little clay ashtrays that fly through the air. It's fun. It's real. I'm not that big on games myself, but if anybody knows, post it on ScottyKilmer.com where the diagnostic dice game can be found. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.